This is my no BS advice for people looking to get rich with house cleaning. So I firmly believe that people really overcomplicate what you need to do to grow a large and profitable cleaning business. So in today's video, I'm going to give you the top 5 things that you need to focus on, drawing on my own experience of growing my own cleaning business as well as working with over 100 cleaning companies over the years. So let's jump straight into it. So firstly, focus on one service offering. So what do I mean by this? So within the cleaning industry, there are lots of different niches within the industry. You could be a house cleaning business, or you could focus on office cleaning. You could be a cleaning company that does carpet cleaning and floor cleaning, oven cleaning, window cleaning. There are all these different services. So I'm a firm believer that you want to try and pick one service offering and stick with it, because if you pick one particular service offering, let's say you're providing a house cleaning service and you're focused on recurring clients, which as many of you will know, that's where I think the most interesting service offering lies. If you focus on one service offering, you can put all your effort, all your resource into that. You can focus on the techniques that you need to clean all the different things in the home, whether it's the kitchen worktops or the bathtub and the shower. You can figure out which cleaning products and equipment you need. If you're hiring cleaners into your company, you can focus on recruiting people just for that experience. The problem with offering multiple services is that your efforts get diluted across different service offerings. You only have so much time in the day, you only have so much money to invest. So by offering multiple service offerings, the likelihood of you becoming an expert and providing a great service for every single cleaning niche is going to be a lot less likely than if you just focus all your efforts on one particular niche. So I think that you want to focus on one service offering to begin with. As the business grows, and yes, you can look to add in different niches, different services into your company, but to begin with and to grow quickly and grow profitably, become an expert in one particular service offering. Secondly, simple pricing. So I think that bespoke pricing, you're going into people's homes, giving them individual pricing, is not the way to go about it. That's not a very scalable strategy. So, when I talk about scalability, if you are doing these in-home estimates, you're going to be limited by how many quote requests you can do a day. If it's you as the business owner doing it and you have a full schedule of quote requests for the week, you can't offer any more quotes. You'll either need to bring in someone else, hire that person, or you'll need to delay it into the next week, and the likelihood of that person waiting till that long and becoming a client of yours is going to be a lot lower than if you can get in there much more quickly. So I don't think the in-person, the at the property pricing is the way to go. We do all our pricing over the phone, and we do it based off a very simple formula based on the size of the property. So we'll ask someone, how many bedrooms do you have in the property? How many bathrooms? How regularly would you like the property to be cleaned? And we give the client a price there and then over the phone. So we're not wasting time trying to book in a time to go and see them. We're not looking at square footage and the particular size, the specific size of the home, what type of client lives there, whether it's families or professionals. We look at the size of the property as a proxy, and we give that client a price. So the beauty of this simple pricing strategy is that if the client agrees with the price on the phone, you can book them there and then. Think about how many. If you were using a telephone-based quoting system, think about how many calls you could take in a day. Think about how many clients you could book. And if you've got enough cleaners to service those clients, you'll be able to grow your cleaning company very, very quickly. If you contrast that with an in-person quoting strategy, as I said, you're limited by how many of these you can do a day. And it just means that you can't take on as many clients, you can't generate as much revenue. And also the other thing to say is, there is a cost with you doing these in-home estimates. You'll have to take the time to drive to the property. You'll have to spend money on, your gas for your car and all those sorts of things. And that becomes more of a problem if you hire other people to do these quotes for you. So I think simple pricing is a really great way to scale the business you're stripping out all the costs of doing in-person estimates, and it means you're stripping out those costs. There's more money to reinvest and grow your business, and ultimately to pay you as the business owner. So if you're finding the content in this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It really helps me. Let's jump on to point 3. So point 3 is to answer every call. This is such a basic thing that many people just completely gloss over this. When I'm talking about answering calls, it's every single inbound call that comes into your business during office hours needs to be answered. You can't be getting many missed calls. And this is particularly important with new potential clients who are maybe looking to get a price for a cleaning, because in my experience, the very best leads, the very best inquiries are where the client calls you in. You'll get the highest close rate, the highest likelihood of the client booking there and then. Because the beauty of the phone call is that, you can build rapport and build trust with that client. Ultimately, we're still going into the client's homes. They're trusting us with their homes. So, by speaking to the client, you can answer their questions, address any concerns. And, as long as the price is within range, the client should be willing to book there and then. So tend to get a very high close rate with these phone calls. If you compare that with people who are maybe emailing in or asking for a price over email, you'll find that the close rate is a lot lower, because, if you're sending prices back and forth, there's less ability to grow that trust and build that rapport. So the phone calls are really important, the highest quality leads. If you're missing any of these inbound calls, you are really leaving money on the table. So we need to make sure that every single phone call that comes into our business is getting answered. If you're already on the other line, or you have a VA or office manager managing these calls and they're on another line, you need to make sure you have a professional voicemail, and you need to get back to those people as quickly as possible. You'll be amazed at how many cleaning companies in your area will not do this basic thing. So if you're answering all these calls, it means that you are just much more likely to be picking up and converting new clients. It means you'll be getting more revenue into your business, generating more profit, and ultimately you'll be able to grow that much more quickly and profitably. So then point 4 is to systemize your business. So once you have a business that is generating, a good steady stream of client leads, maybe your marketing, your Google marketing, your SEO is running well, and you have cleaners that are available, and you're growing your cleaner base as well. This is really where systemizing your business becomes so important. And really, you need your key systems documented and in place to really grow your business, because most people start off like I did at the very beginning. Everything is kept in their heads. So, whether it's a client calling up to get a price, or whether it's a cleaner who is running late for a job, or whether you're looking to make a change in your website, there are all these different things that are happening on a day-to-day basis with your cleaning business. And at the beginning, as the business owner, it's probably you who's deciding how every single one of these items is actioned. But as you grow your business, you need to get out from what's in your mind down onto paper. I tell everyone, open up a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word document. And what you want to do is, over the course of a week, jot down all the different activities that you're doing on a day-to-day basis in your cleaning business. And the idea is, what you want to try to do is just to get all the main items coming through. So maybe you take a 5-minute call for a client who's pricing up a job, or, as I said, you've got a cleaner who's running late. How do you deal with that? You need to contact your client to let them know. You need to let your cleaner know that if they're running more than 5 minutes late, they need to call the client. All these step-by-step processes are really important. So you want to get everything that happens, all the main things that happen in your cleaning business over the course of the week, and start to categorize them. These are pricing requests, these are cleaner management requests, these are cleaner interview items. And the reason why this step is so important in growing a large and profitable cleaning business is that, as the cleaning business owner, you are not going to be able to do everything yourself. You will need to get a virtual assistant. You will need to get an office manager into your business to help run your operations, because When that happens, you as the business owner need to transition into a more of a managerial role. You need to be thinking about, the key thing you need to be thinking about is, how do I grow my cleaning business? You'll be needing to look at your marketing channels. You may be looking at pricing. You can't be tied up dealing with all these day-to-day things in your business. So once you have everything down in a Google document, and you know that if X happens, you do Y and you do Z, you can then bring in a virtual assistant or an office manager, because you can tell them, okay, I want you to manage the main inbox for the business. So this will likely be, existing clients, whether it's wanting to change the timing of a cleaning, or maybe there's some feedback they want to share, or maybe there's a new a quote request that's come in. Your VA or office manager should be able to refer to your Google document and be able to get back and respond to those clients without asking you. Everything should be documented in that SOPs doc. So you need this in place to really scale your business, because you as the business owner cannot do this. So get your key processes systemized. It can't be bespoke. It needs to be the case that if a price request comes in, you always do it in this way. Or if there's a complaint that comes in, you always do it in this way. It can't be ad hoc. It can't be bespoke for every single item. So this is a critical thing that you need to get in place, so that you can then hand over the day-to-day operations to your virtual assistant. And then point 5 is then tracking your KPIs, your key performance indicators. So this is really linked to, and follows on from the previous point. So once you have an office manager running more and more of your day-to-day operation, you will eventually get to the stage where hopefully you are completely hands-off. Your office manager is running all the client requests, all the feedback, all the interviews, all the onboarding of new cleaners. And when you get to that position, you're in a really great position in your business, because you as the business owner can then spend 100% of your time really figuring out strategically, how do I grow this business? And this is going to be the very best use of your time. But because you have an office manager now running the day-to-day operations of your business, you need to make sure that your business is still on track. It's still growing nicely. It's still generating enough profit. And this is where your key performance indicators become really critical, because what you want to do is really to have a handful of KPIs where you can look at those numbers, and you can look at the change in the weekly performance of those numbers, or the monthly performance of those numbers, and really get a feel of, is my business on the right route or not? Obviously, if it's moving in the right direction and we're growing nicely, fantastic. But why this is important is that, there will be periods where the business isn't growing as quickly, or maybe there's been a drop in revenue. You need to figure out quickly, why is that? Is it because clients are canceling? Is it because cleaners are churning off? What is happening, and what is causing this dip in performance? So firstly, you need to identify the KPIs in your business. As I said, I think if you're growing a house cleaning business, your recurring client growth is really one of the most important things. So you need to make sure, you need to track, okay, how many recurring clients did we bring on this week or this month? You also need to look at your churn rate. How many of your recurring clients left or cancelled this month? And this could be because they're moving out of town, or maybe there's a budget issue, or maybe there's a quality issue. Obviously, the quality issues are the main area you want to try to minimize as much as possible. So if you take your growth in new recurring clients added, subtract those that have churned off, hopefully you are still getting a net positive. And if you're getting a net positive, the business will still be growing nicely. So I think those are a couple of really important KPIs in the business. As your business grows and you're getting more cleaners into your company, you'll need to be tracking things like the lifetime value of your cleaners. How long are your cleaners staying for? How many months or years are they staying with you on average? How many interviews are you running? How many are you onboarding? You need to be looking at both the client and the cleaner side. And if you get those two things right, and you've got your KPIs in place for those, and you're tracking them closely, you'll be able to get a really great idea that, of how the business is performing without being involved in the day-to-day running of it. So with these 5 key things in place, now you're in a really great position to add fuel to the fire. I think that people invest much too early in marketing before they've got these key things nailed down in their business. So once you do have these 5 things in place, that's when you really want to start investing in your marketing. And as I talk about on other videos on my channel, I really think the best place to focus your time and your money is on page 1 on Google. And this is what I'm going to talk about in this next video. I'm going to give you an intro into what I call the Google domination strategy. It's how we run ads really effectively. It's how we run SEO really effectively. And once you have these 5 things in place and your marketing running really well, you will really grow a large and profitable business. So I'll see you on the next one.